The holiday season right around the corner, but with COVID-19 in full swing, many are wondering if they'll be able to travel to see their families.
Joining us this morning, Connie Corbett with Ambassador Travel. She's here to tackle some of the questions you might be asking yourself before you head out to the airport.
Good to have you with us, Connie.
Good morning.
Now, air travel saw drastic changes in the early 2000s with restrictions in place after the September 11th attacks. Fast forward 19 years later, another layer of restrictions now in place. Now, you've taken hundreds of flights in your lifetime. I know you haven't since this pandemic began, but outside of the mask wearing and the spaced out seating, what can travelers expect on their next flight now?
Sure, there's many things that are different that weren't in effect before the pandemic started. So planes are spreading out. Delta has committed to keeping the middle seat open until sometime in the first half of 2021. Southwest has made that commitment until November. You're able to take extra hand sanitizer. You know, when you check through TSA, there's a limit on liquids, but now we can take extra hand sanitizer with us. And we can expect to board from the back, which kind of makes logical sense anyway, but instead of walking past people, they're boarding planes from the back and spreading people out as they board. So, you know, really what we're dealing with in everyday life, we're also implementing in the air travel side. So you can expect distancing, you can expect masks, you can expect hand sanitizer.
Connie, one thing I wanted to hit on, these airlines heavily depend on the business class for travelers, if you will. And right now, obviously, you know, with these shutdowns that had been in place, there's been little travel. It'd be kind of interesting to reach out even to Evansville Regional Airport and see how much they are down in terms of passengers. But if you are willing to travel right now, there are deep discounts. I know my mother was just in town. She flew for like $80 round trip from Florida.
We are seeing some great pricing, and you know, not across the board as much as you would think, but there is plenty of good deals out there. And we were just checking this week kind of what do the upcoming holiday season flight seats look like, and there is still plenty of availability, which is unusual this time of year. If you think you might travel during the holidays, really now is the time to start looking at those flights and making some selections.
And a couple of popular destinations for families, especially with spring break next year: the Caribbean, Mexico, portions of Mexico, and Hawaii. Hard to travel to without a flight to those destinations. So what will things look like when you go to these more exotic places, maybe in 2021?
Well, we've had great reports from our travelers to Mexico and throughout the Caribbean, and we actually even have some customers that are planning in these resorts. First of all, it's outside, it will be warm, it will be easy to distance even with your family, have a great visit, make some great memories, but you know, be in the warm sunshine, be outside, and be able to spend that time together. So Jamaica, throughout the Caribbean, St. Lucia, Grenada, they are all doing very well with travel. Hawaii is just now opening up, but I will say each island has a few different restrictions, and they may change over time. So it's very important to make sure that you're an informed traveler when you're making those plans, all the way up until the day before and the day of traveling, to know what you need to enter these countries.
I know Lauren has another question, but you mentioned Hawaii. They just lifted that 14-day quarantine, so you can travel there without having to wait 14 days before you start to enjoy your vacation. You had a question too.
Not necessarily a question, but you kind of mentioned it, you know, as people are planning these trips for spring break 2021, and I think, you know, people probably looking even into the 2022 calendar year, just what types of insurance, what can we, you know, get to protect ourselves, our money, if you will, because we don't know what's going to happen. We're hoping for this vaccine, but who knows?
Well, I know you guys know that I think that travel insurance is so important, and now it's even more important than ever. You want to make sure that your plans are protected, your money's protected, and your health is protected if something happens, that you become ill while you're away, whether it is a virus or, you know, a broken bone or a sprained ankle. So travel insurance is very important, but something new that has popped up is multiple destinations are requiring you to have insurance to enter. Some may have a specific insurance, some you just have to prove that you have sufficient coverage. So that's become an entry checklist on some of the immigration to the islands.
And thank you to Connie Corbett from Ambassador Travel for helping us navigate some of these changes to our traveling habits of the future. Thank you again, Connie. We'll be right back.